Oh my bad. All right, you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Has it recently become apparent to you that your child spends too much of their free time on social media? Have you noticed a lack of communication or distant behavior? Social media plays a big role in teen culture. Surveys show that 90% of teens have used social media. 75% said that they have at least one active social media profile, and 51 report visiting a social media site at least daily. The rise of social media apps such as Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter in young people's lives has taken a toll on how they interact. It has the potential to get so bad that that it becomes their whole lives and they miss out on what's going on around them. And while there are parental control apps out there that allow you to monitor your child's time spent on apps like the ones that I previously mentioned, it can be challenging to have that discussion expressing your concerns. Hello parents of FHS students. Thank you for joining me in this lovely auditorium. My name is Jada, and today my colleagues Neil, Nick, and Tamid will be expanding on some of the ways that social media impacts interpersonal communication skills of your young and impressionable teenagers. First, we have Neil discussing how social media affects the face-to-face communication skills of your teenagers.
Thank you, Jada. Hello, everyone. My name is Neil Patel, and today we'll be talking about how social media affects your child's interpersonal communication and their interpersonal communication skills. The many extreme impacts that social media has on your children, such as lowering their communication, reducing the confidence they have in talking with one another, and lastly, hindering their ability to maintain and create new interpersonal relationships. The most immediate impact that social media presents on young teenagers is that when they begin using it, it reduces the quantity and the quality of the relationships that they have versus the quantity and quality of relationships in person and face to face. Social media allows for your children to use technological devices such as phones or laptops to talk to one another through screens rather than in person and face to face. Social media allows for your children, or social media can allow your children to reduce their interpersonal communication skills such as their body language, writing, and extreme situations they're talking. It also affects introverted children more as it allows for them to stay indoors all day instead of going outside and building character and skills that they will need later on in life. Introverted children are often shy and lack confidence, but social media adds another pressure onto them as it allows for them to stay behind the screen for the majority of the day instead of going out and making interpersonal relationships. Social media is often seen as a road or an escape that many children can use from being shy and lacking confidence, but it's actually a hindrance as it teaches your child that it's okay to stay indoors for the majority of the day instead of going outside and communicating. Social media is the biggest opposition that some children face in the near and current future, but it's also one of the most important outlets that children have to express themselves. And here we have Nick expanding upon that point.
Thank you, Neil. While social media can be classified as a con, such as reducing in-person communication skills, it is a great resource to be able to communicate and meet new people online. There are millions of people who log on every day. A study in 2020 shows that there are about 3.6 billion active social media users. That's almost half the population. Social media is a great way to meet new people. You can meet people from all over the world, meet people with different races, and have different point of views from you. And some of these relationships can even be stronger than in-person relationships. For example, 5 years ago, I met someone online through video games. Me and this person for the last 5 years have been talking on an almost daily basis and playing games together. I believe that our relationship is stronger, or as strong or stronger than any in-person relationship due to the fact that we met through a common interest. Over the last 2 years, we know about the COVID-19 pandemic and how it forced us into a lockdown. Social media during that time became an outlet for a lot of people. we weren't allowed to see our friends and family, and it was kind of hard to miss out on that feeling of being able to communicate with someone face to face. Social media allowed for us to stay in communication with a lot of our friends and family that we weren't able to see. It was a great way to also meet new people. Even though the language and slang we use in social media doesn't always apply to real life situations, here's Tamed with the vernacular of in-person relations or communication.
Thank you, Nick. So when social media becomes your child's own world and they learn how to communicate through slangs and acronyms. So, when the children are constantly surrounded by these vocabularies, it can be difficult for them to communicate with people in real life who don't speak the same. And another hardest thing for them is that, such as writing a caption for their post, or texting their friends about writing an email to their future bosses. The way people speak on social media is so unfamiliar to some people, and social media nowadays, social media has developed, creating certain websites, and there's this website called Urban Dictionary, which helps people out of the loop decode slang. So this website encourages the uses of slangs, and as well as it creates an impact on people's communication skills on everyday life. So the use of slang and paraphrasing can be extremely detrimental in children's life, such as the education or the business standard certain situation. Now that Jada will be talking about the conclusion part of social media.
Thank you, Tamed. Social media is a very powerful tool. It can be used in negative ways and it can be used in positive ways. It is a great source for your children to build and maintain relationships with their peers. It's important that it does not consume their whole lives. The constant use of social media can impact the way that they speak and interact in real-world face-to-face situations. Now, I want you to pull out your phone and download a parental control app. And when you notice your child becoming distant or spending excessive amounts of time on social media, I challenge you to have that difficult discussion with them about your concerns. Once again, I am Jada. Thank you so much for listening to my colleagues expand on how social media affects interpersonal communication skills.